Coaching A1, roles, skills and responsibilities. A coach is a person who navigates an individual or team through physical and mental learning to reach an end goal, for example, win the 100-meter sprint at the Olympics, or see improvements in an individual throughout the season. For example, a youth boys hockey team to win a local tournament at the end of the season. Danny Carey is the men's GB hockey coach and has the role as a motivator for the team. He has to make sure the team is ready for what they're about to do. He also has to keep the athletes focused on the task they are doing, because if the athletes didn't want to do endurance training, then he would have to get them motivated to do it to their best ability, so they have the best chances of winning the next match. He might not just have to get them pumped up all the time. Sometimes it could be the opposite. He might need them to calm down, ready for psychological training. He is there for the athletes when they are being harsh on themselves, and provide constructive feedback and observations. His responsibility is to give players equal opportunities. This means that he should pick players to be part of the team because of their skills, and should be approachable from all players' point of view. A coach might not allow someone into the team because of their age, gender, race, ethnicity, religion, sexuality, socio-economic status, or ability. Danny shows that he doesn't discriminate because his team is made up of different ages and religions. For the level that he coaches at, he might have to disallow someone into the team because of their gender or ability. However, this is due to the rules of the game and the level of competition they play at. His skill is organisation. This means that at his session he has the equipment he needs and enough space at the facilities. He has the session planned for the ability and numbers he is coaching. This means he has a rough idea of how many he will get at training and be prepared to have odd numbers for what he is doing. The flow of the different activities is prepared but also available to be adapted. On a match day, they have to make sure they have enough players and facilities for getting changed, and food after is available. For example, when training, he has to make sure he can adapt his drills if the wrong number of people turn up, or if he doesn't have the right people for a defending drill. If a player who plays defence on match days is there, he has to be able to put someone. If a player who plays defence on match days isn't there, he has to be able to put someone in their place for the practice to benefit everyone. Kirsten Hilton is a tennis coach, and her role is to be a role model for children at the club. She is someone who they can look up to for inspiration. Younger athletes will look up to elite athletes and want to be like them, therefore they will copy what they do. For example, if Steph Houghton did a skill in a game that they were watching, they would then try and copy this. A role model will influence younger players' sporting development more than elite. They can do this socially, personally, psychologically, and to do with their health. If a coach was shouting and screaming at the ref, their team would think this behaviour is acceptable and to do the same. This could cause them to be sent off for mouthing off to the ref. Players might also look at their coach when taking a free kick to see what he wants them to do with the ball, or when the team scores to see their coach's reaction. How well the players play can depend on the coach's attitude. Her responsibility is to have professional conduct. This means that she has to have good morals, respect, and be honest. This is because she sets the standard the players will follow. She also has to have good knowledge and qualifications to conduct a good session. Athletes at the level she coaches will follow what she does, and this could determine their future in sport. For example, if she turned up late in a skirt and little top and flip-flops, then the players she's coaching will think it's acceptable to be late and not wearing appropriate kit. If they were good, this could be the difference between them getting to a higher level. Her skill is time management. This means that before training, players know where and when they're supposed to be, and that they have the facility space booked. The equipment is ready at the right time, and the session is planned with a warm-up, skill-based activities, a game, and a cool-down. During training, there is time for skills and feedback. Also, the drills are adaptable. For example, if they were practicing the serve and they were struggling, it might take longer to do the drill because there will be more feedback and then would need longer to practice. This could result in another drill not being done. Therefore, a different drill will have to be done for longer or two shorter drills. Phil Neville is the Women's England football coach and has the role as an innovator. He comes up with new styles of play and training to help the athletes win. This helps them to stay interested as it brings new things to do, whilst helping him to find new areas of strengths and weaknesses in the athletes. He might use personalised practices that might work for some of the team members but not for others. The way he analyses and feedbacks to the players could make them think in a different way. This would benefit them as they could find motivation from this or new techniques and styles of play to try out. The new creative ideas from him could influence the players to do the same on the football pitch, for example. His responsibility is health and safety. This means he has to do his best to minimise the intrinsic and extrinsic factors. He can best control the extrinsic factors, however, it can sometimes be out of his control. This is shown by where he lets his athletes train. He makes sure the surface is smooth without any potholes, and that there is nothing on the sides of the pitch that could get in the way. When training is bad conditions, he might have to change the session plan or put some rules in. He can control the intrinsic factors to a point. For this, he teaches athletes correct techniques on the pitch and in the gym. For example, when squatting with weight, because a bad technique could cause them serious injury to their knee. His skill is analysis. This is really important for his team because it means they can look at the fine details when they are performing. This could be the difference between them winning and losing. The analysis can be physically or psychologically. Analysing looks at areas of weakness so the coach can go into detail with how to improve it to get the best out of his players. For example, every time the attackers go past the defenders was by a through ball along the ground. This will be shown when analysing games and training. Phil can then show them where to improve and how. This will then hopefully benefit his team as they will be able to stop this and give them more chances of winning their next game. Analysis can be done by video statistics or tactics. Mel Barsley is a netball coach at a school and has the role of an educator. She is an educator, trainer and instructor to the athletes for physical, mental, emotional and social learning within sport. There isn't much difference between the three, which is why they come under the same role. A good coach will adopt all these three roles, but keep them separate as the athletes would need to be taught them in different ways. It also shows that she understands all athletes learn in different ways, so in team sport, one technique will work for one athlete, but not the others. This could be seen as a more serious coaching role. However, this is needed to ensure that athletes are safe and properly prepared for their event. Her responsibility is knowledge of the coaching environment. For this, the coach needs to know all about the sport they are coaching. For example, if they have the equipment and facilities ready for a session or match, the location of the facilities, toilets, showers, first aid and safety points. Also, if they have planned a session for the amount of players and abilities, then it's adaptable. They have to consider the safety of players. The coaching is technically correct and that it's fun for the players. At the level she coaches, this is really important because she will most likely be on her own with only parent support. Her skill is evaluating, and this compares her team/individual's most recent performance against one at the same level where you either won or performed at their best. When coaching, this comes after analysis and problem solving. For an effective evaluation, the coach needs to know the full potential of her team and the individuals. For example, her team went to a Southwest Schools netball tournament. Every game they played would be evaluated by Mel. After she has watched the game and been evaluating it, she would feed back to the team what she thought and make necessary changes to players or their positions. This is a good skill for a coach to have, as it will help the team or individual to win more games. Motivator, elite and non-elite. Motivator is more important for elite athletes because they need to be in the right mind frame for training, competitions and tactical discussion. For them, every second of training is crucial for small margins. If they aren't motivated, then they could cause an injury from not doing it right and are less likely to continue to get better. If they aren't motivated, they won't have the effort to recover properly, and this could hinder their next performance. Whereas it's not as important for non-elite grassroots level athletes because games and matches aren't as important. Also, it's good for younger athletes to be able to manage their emotions during the game and to learn how it can help them positively. This can be done with a little guidance. On the other hand, they shouldn't need to be motivated because they have loads of energy and they only focus on playing, not the other mental and tactical side of the game.